Hi, good morning. It's probably it's afternoon here. It's noon. So Wednesday. I moved my box of garbage off the side porch, so I set up a little filming table because I don't want to do it inside the house. What I wanted to talk about today, and I'm not going to use the word cool for anything. I've been using the word cool. Oh, it's cool. Um, Small powered speakers that you would find at a thrift store. Um, if you don't have a need for these, you probably wouldn't look twice at these when you find them. But I've kind of been playing with these. I found a couple over the last 6 months or so, and they're the best thing about them is they're perfect for using for small devices like this 80s AM/FM stereo portable radio and Walkmans and portable CDs and iPods. If you just want to listen to something and you don't want to run it through an amplifier with full set of speakers, it's perfect. And the important thing is they have to be powered. You don't want to use those little crappy non-powered speakers that were sold to use on your Walkmans back in the 90s or whatever, because they have no power, they're badly made. This is actually a Sony powered speaker. Um, it doesn't have a volume control on it, which is interesting. It doesn't have a way to input power other than using the batteries. I've got the back off of this one. This one's the master, that one's the slave. But it does a pretty good job with stereo. And if you, this is where I'm going to have a problem.
During that show, John Daly was just walking the floor. Yep. I mean, you're not going to see Tiger Phil. You're not going to see those, and I get it, but you're not going to see them just walking the PGA.
I've hardly got the volume turned up on
but
this,
I mean,
and you can hear how loud they are.
I mean, like I'm, like next to John Daly.
I'm listening to
whoa, this is John Daly.
ESPN radio station, so because everybody's going on about the copyright warnings, and
rocking that
you don't get them on this.
Just hitting bombs. That's really when it first started.
There, whatever, turned it off. It's got the small, was it 3.2 millimeter jack, 3.8 millimeter jack, which plugs into just about everything that is out now, even your cell phone. I don't know if I'd want to plug my cell phone into this, but you probably could, I'm sure. But I like using this old stuff, and I'll show you a couple more of these that I've got before I sign off. Another thing is, I was going to go ahead and use the Everio to film this, but I brought it out, and it's so humid out here that I don't know if you can see that. Looks like it cleared up, but the lens is totally fogged up. I've been letting it sit for a few minutes, but the Everio is obviously not as good a resolution as the cell phone is. The cell phone videos in high definition, and it's a little awkward to hold. I've got a stick for it, but I don't want to put it on a stick. But I really like this thing too. I'll use it in some feature stuff. It's got a hard drive and it's got a memory card in it, so I'm using the memory card. I don't trust the hard drive. It's a mechanical hard drive. I just dropped an old Ipod the other day, and it had a mechanical hard drive in it, and that went bye-bye. So I'm sure I'll end up dropping this eventually, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the stick. Anyway, I'm going to show you another set of speakers too. These, like I said, don't have an outside input source. There's no 6-volt jack on it. The ones I'm going to show you in a little bit are the Jensens I got. They're computer speakers. They actually plug in the wall, and then they put out quite a bit of power since they don't have batteries. They're just strictly plug-in, but they're a little bit bigger than these. But if you do run across one of these and you
Call 850-628-8438 or visit their website, CompassionateLoveHomeCare.com.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to snap? Just a strike. My name is
Now, what was his report? Well, if a man had written this, we'd have several volumes of ponderous...
All right, I'm going to turn that off. One thing about using a Walkman or an iPod or one of these is that this cord, which was supposed to be the headphone cable, acts as an antenna. And it really affects the way your reception happens. And if you, this one's very thin, but if you get one that's thicker, it's shielded, and really it's very difficult to pick up a lot of stations on it. So just keep an eye out for that. That's pretty much what I got on this segment. I'll go ahead and pull something out.
53-1023. And don't forget to like Betsy's on
Facebook.
Facebook.
I've got the Walkman hooked up.
East Point, St. George Island, Carabel, and Fort St. Joe.
Blowing up a storm out here. But you can tell.
It was long ago.
Yeah, but I think
Back to ESPN again.
I'm
Just give us a number, Jay.
man, like one under.
One under?
I'm going one under.
One under.
So you can see this can be very
territory.
useful.
Yeah, back in 2013,
Especially if you're trying to run a
Jason
Walkman.
Duffner
I'm going to go
won
ahead
the
and
10
grab the
under par, and in
iPod
2003, Sean McKeel won it
Nano
4 under
and
par.
show you
You're listening to the
that,
Inside
but I
Drive
think you get
live
the
here on
idea.
ESPN Northwest Florida. When we get back, we'll be
I just
joined
thought
by
it's
Keith
cool
Fleming,
that
talking all
these
things
probably
PGA
fly under the
Championship.
radar.
Get your
Nobody really
DraftKings
looks through these
apps
things,
open
but they
and
really are
ready to
quite
go. Make
useful.
sure you got some money deposited in there so you can plug in these picks.
Southwest winds 5 to 10
All right.
knots, seas around 2 feet with
All
a
right,
dominant period of 4 seconds in the evening.
I got
Then
the
1
Logitech
foot or
hooked
less.
up.
Protected waters, a light chop. Slight
I
chance of
tried to hook
showers
up
and
this
thunderstorms.
iPod.
For Thursday, southwest winds 5 to 10
The
knots.
battery's
waves
dead
1
on
foot or
it.
less,
It's
protected
sufficiently old
waters,
enough
a
to where it
light
won't hold a
chop.
charge more than a couple seconds.
And this is Oyster Radio.
What I did do is I
WOYS
took a video on it. I'm gonna see if I can get it off of here. This thing actually has a camera. I don't know if you guys ever saw one of these, but it's got a radio feature and a camera. I've listened to the radio on this, and it actually works really well. Hopefully I'll be able to get it hooked into that. Just wanted to show you where we're at here on this.
Sunday from 10 till 5.
I guess what I'm saying is if you run across one of these, and I've repeated this, and you've got small devices like this, like the Walkman or your personal stereo or even an iPod, they make really good lines or amplifiers. Easy to hook up, they're portable, most of them are battery powered. They come with remote controls. This one has a remote control for the iPod, not for the actual amplifier, which is what looks like this.
Starting at 5:30 a.m. for breakfast,
And then you've got just the
lunch,
basic
and dinner.
speakers
The
if you
Bubble
want,
Waffle
but you
Factory
can
in
find
Taste of
these.
Korea is located at the
And
corner
they
of
work
Highway
pretty well
98
too.
and Marine
So
Street in Carabel.
I'm gonna try to
In
take the
addition to
video
great
I shot
food,
off of
they're
that and
also
include it
serving up
with this.
special coffees and frozen treats.
You
Come
can
and
see that the
relax in
quality
their
is not
indoor
much,
dining
but-
room, or take
All
it to
right,
go by
talk
calling
later.
them at
Just wanted to show you, I've got both sets of speakers hooked up now. Right here, there's dual headphone jacks. So you'd be able to have 2 sets of headphones plugged in if you were wanting to share this out with a friend. I thought that was pretty cutting edge for when this thing was made. This was probably made in like the early mid 80s. But I've got this hooked up, and then I've got this hooked up, and I'm getting this really incredible stereo separation from right to left and back. It's doing a 3-dimensional. It's actually very cool. So yeah, you can play with this crap all you want to. It's fun to buy if you get it. I mean, you got to put it somewhere when you get it, but as long as you don't shove it in a box somewhere and forget about it, it's not junk. It's actually quite useful. I screw around with this kind of stuff all the time. I'm just trying to show you guys what I do in my spare time.
Yeah, that would be
Kit Kat.
No.
Kit Kat.
This one stage was just like
Kit Kat.
Just Kit Kat, you know, which like partly straight.
Kit Kat.
You know, kids need representing. Yeah.
2nd to May 26th, we will
This
be
is
open
a
to
log
the public.
attack.
Our team of experienced eye care professionals will be set up at
Ipod
our Fan Care location in Port
docking
St. Joe to provide
system,
comprehensive
but it's
eye
got a built-in
exams
auxiliary,
and vision screenings. To
I'm
schedule
running
an
this off
appointment,
of right now.
call
It's got a
850-387-8048.
rechargeable battery in it. But it also
Don't
has
miss
a
this opportunity to
6-volt
take care of
power
your vision
adapter.
health. Let Fan Care
Battery's
bring
supposed to
our
last for 10
expertise
hours.
to you.
And it does
This
last
is
a
a
long
special
time.
alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than
It's
200,000
fairly
miles,
old, but the
with an
battery's
auto
holding it
warranty
really
about to
well.
expire, or with no warranty coverage at all.
There was
Due
no
to a
way to
decline
change
in
the battery
economy,
on this thing,
CarShield is
so
announcing a
the
low-cost
instructions that
month-to-month
came with
vehicle
it said
protection
once the
plan that is
battery
now available
doesn't
to the
charge
public to
anymore,
save any driver
the whole thing
out-of-pocket
goes in the
expenses on
trash,
future
which is a
auto
shame.
repairs. Call now to find
It's,
out how you can pay
very
almost
nice
nothing
unit.
for
It has
covered
remote
auto
control to
repairs.
it.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing
I
for
bought
covered
this at
auto
the thrift
repairs.
store in the
An open
box,
phone line has been established for all
with
drivers to
everything,
call for a free
instructions,
quick
and
quote.
remote
Call
control for $5, I think, about a year ago.
800-736-2098. Now, drivers who are
Perfect
covered will
for
not
this
have to
kind of
pay for
thing,
covered
'cause you
repairs
can
again.
run
This protection plan is at an
a small
all-time low.
device like
Additionally,
that
drivers who activate this vehicle
as an
protection
auxiliary.
today
You don't
will
have to
also
have an
receive free
iPod
roadside assistance,
plugged
free
into
towing,
the
and car
iPod.
rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today.
This would definitely be a viable
800-736-2098. That's
candidate if you want to cross one of these to buy
800-736-2098.
to listen
What do
to
you
your
have to
smaller
lose? Call
devices with.
800-736.
Got the iPod connected up to these Jensen speakers here. These are the other ones. They're computer speakers. These are powered. They plug in the wall. They don't take batteries. Oddly enough, they have a treble control, but no bass. I'm not sure what that's all about. But they're much more high-powered than those small Sonys I was using yesterday. But I didn't know that iPods had a radio feature. I guess not all of them did. This particular model does apparently. It also has a video camera in it. I took a video with it yesterday. I'll put that up here, but I'll show you. Just turn this up real fast.
Rev it up and jump that buggy there. We're going talkie.
Okay, that's enough of that. I just wanted to point that out. I was going to drag these Jensen's Altex, I'm sorry, they're Altex, out to the side porch to film them, but I don't feel like doing that this morning. They're set up on my computer, messy computer table. But I've got the iPod. There we go. I got some voiceover going here.
6.5 FM. Hope you're having a great Thursday. And remember, we got a blood drive today over at
hear how
Williams
well they
Memorial
sound.
Hospital in Apalachicola. Come out
Stereo.
today from 11 to 4. Donate a pint of blood. They make it worth your while. You get a $20 e-gift card. You get a One Blood t-shirt.
Anyway,
and, of course,
you
you
get
get
the
that
idea.
wellness checkup. They do blood pressure, pulse.